Today we're going to be reviewing the book Flames of Rebellion. The author and the link will be in the description if you want to go buy the book. If you don't, I don't care. Whatever floats your boat, whatever helps you have fun. This book has about 4 protagonists in it. You can easily say that Jamie starts the story, and then the story pushes forward mostly with Damien, and then there's a little bit of Governor Wells, a little bit of John Danforth. I'll explain who these people are in a minute, but there's no one protagonist in this book, so it's hard to say who the story is about. It jumps back and forth. So, Jamie is somebody that starts out the story in a huge prison that they take all the workers and they make them do mining on Alpha 2/Haven. And his main goal in life is to keep his head down and get out and go back to Damien's farm where his love of his life named Katia is, and they are gonna get married, settle down, have kids, and have all the blissful life that he didn't have back on Earth. Because back on Earth he got in trouble, he got a few prison sentences, and they said, you know what, let's just send you off to this other planet. Anyway, turns out that while he was in the prison, he got released to go work on a farm, Damien's farm, and that's where he fell in love with Katia. Anyway, our story takes place about a couple days before he's going to be set to be released. Prison riot takes place, and Damien is like, oh no, I love this kid like my own son. Let me go to the governor and get the governor to say, hey, if anybody is part of this prison problem, but they didn't kill anybody and they didn't actively try to hurt anybody, then they can just be let go. Well, Governor Wells, he agrees to that. But this ticks off a bunch of people that actually want a rebellion to take place. Because if a rebellion takes place, then the whole place of Alpha 2 Haven can become its own world. Or so they think. People like Damien and Governor Wells, they know better. They've seen how truly bloody and graphic war is and how awful it is, and they don't want that to happen. Well, Governor Wells gets accused by the United States and Earth of being too soft. So they send somebody over who is going to be his basically babysitter. Asha Stanton is that babysitter. She is the Federal Observer. And she comes in with a bunch of rules from the Senate saying, hey, I'm basically in charge of this place now. And she brings over this utter jerk named Semmes. He is an awful sadistic nightmare. And once Semmes and Asha Stanton set foot on the planet, it is a ride and a half watching one side try to stop a war from happening, one side try to keep a war coming, and another side trying to get a little bit of a war so they can kill a bunch of people and whip the whole planet into subjugation. And it's a bloody mess, but if you can get past that, it is a really good war read. Seeing the morality of decisions when you have a whole bunch of awful decisions and you have to make the least awful one and then sleep at night and live with yourself at night after making these decisions. It's a good read. I highly recommend it. It came to me through the book crate that I have, that unfortunately I had to unsubscribe from because reasons, not anything to do with them. I loved them. I found them on Cratejoy, and I'll put a link down in the description below for them. But I personally had to unsub. So if you want somebody to deliver a book to your doorstep every month, go look down below, talk to them. What I really liked about this book was the reality of war. Where, like, there is no right. There is no wrong in war. Okay, there's a wrong, there's war crimes, but there is no good reason to go to war. And how much thinking, how much planning, how much prevention should you do before you even consider going to war? Man, If you are over the age of 18, I would definitely read this book because I related with the characters so much. Damien broke my heart just watching him have to make some decisions because Damien used to be a soldier and he retired. And when he retired, he was given a plot of land on Haven, and he wanted nothing more but to stay out of it. But the series of events that lead him to have to think, do I join the rebels? Do I join the Federals, which is the United States Army? Do I stay out and stay neutral? And then having to live with himself when he makes that decision. And when he makes that decision, there are many other former soldiers on this planet, and having to come to terms with everybody makes their own decisions in life based on their morals, and not everyone's going to agree with you. And how do you deal with that when they choose to be on the other side of a gun from you? And what if you loved that person? What do you do? Which comes first, country or feelings? Country or your neighbors? Your sense of right and wrong? Or the oaths you took to protect and serve? It's hard. Wells has his own path that's kind of like that, and I respected each and every decision that man made in this book, but they seem to fly contrary to Damien's each and every time. This book is part 1 in a series. I don't think I'll be reading part 2, not because I didn't enjoy it, not because it wasn't family friendly enough for me. Mostly because I enjoyed the characters, I liked where the story ended, I felt satisfied. There was definitely a hook in the last chapter to keep coming, but I've got other books to read. If you love war, if you love fighting, if you love making moral decisions, hard decisions, this book is definitely for you. If you have a queasy stomach, if profanity's not really your thing, I mean, it's not heavy profanity, but if you're one of those people that you cannot have any profanity in your books, maybe shy away from this one. If you like something quasi-futuristic, but with a bit of still modern day flair, this book is for you. I can't recommend it for anybody under 18. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Thank you for listening. And I hope you are drinking your tea, drinking your water, doing your stretches, whatever you have to do to keep yourself chill. Tune in next time for another book review. Bye. I'm wearing purple today, and that just feels so unlike me.